Since the dawn of time, all the way back in 1991 when Street Fighter II first graced us with intricate and stylish combat, fighting games have made notable strides towards one singular goal: the coveted roster position amongst gaming fans and in esports. Naturally, the artistic layout of the genre spans a vast variety across the board, but the deceptively simple core of a fighting game is present in all of them. The number of systems at play here make most games look like rock, paper, scissors for baby time. Cancels, blocks, parries, throws, crossovers, projectiles, combos, combo breakers, the double tap whip slash. It's all there for you. Games like Tekken 7 mash in hundreds of moves per characters, adding to a sense of proficiency while still offering the bread and butter moves on an easy to access menu. Dragon Ball FighterZ gives you the illusion that you're good at the game through easy to learn and execute combos that look and feel powerful. Meanwhile, it's harboring just under the surface the hidden uh-oh stance moves for those skilled enough to pull them out. These games carved out an audience by being stylish, creative, easy to learn, difficult to master fisticuffs wrapped in gorgeous visuals. Every innovation, every idea, every single uppercut has led to the modern fighting genre as a whole. And it's one hell of a genre, full of games that rarely fall flat, and ones that soar above the competition like nobody else. So that begs the question, what does DNF Duel bring to the table? Accessibility and skill meeting for the very first time. DNF Duel stands as a one-on-one fighter pulled straight from the universe of MMO Dungeon Fighter Online. This 2005 anime-styled world is a brilliant choice for a one-on-one fighter, even if I didn't know that that's what it was. I totally thought this was some kind of new fusion, a new IP fusing the spunky combat of Arc System Works with the lore and classes of D&D. Still would be rad to have that on the side, but I digress. Now I know better, and despite not being overly familiar with this universe, the characters are a blast. DNF Duel has the guts and guile to deliver an outstanding performance in the fighting genre and become one of those shining members of the best fighting game roster. Speaking of roster, let's talk about this one. It's tiny when compared to the giants of Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, but what it lacks in quantity it more than makes up for in bombastic character. There are no gimmicks here, no special characters, no cameo spots or guest fighters, just straight up new fighters, ranging from a dragon-wielding knight to the entire Japanese army of the future packed into the body of a 20-something. Every fighter brings a unique set of attributes. This makes choosing one to get into an exceedingly difficult choice. The range and damage output is almost secondary to the style and flow of the combat. You've really got to decide what kind of mood you're in before you're selecting your character. Do I want the Ghost Samurai? Or maybe I'm feeling a little more crusadery and I want to summon a giant flaming wheel. Or maybe today is an oops all guns kind of day. Whatever you're feeling, there's somebody here for you. That being said, the names could definitely use some freaking work. Despite all their personality, it all kind of goes out the window whenever the man with both a sword and a ghost is named Ghostblade. Or the girl who is going to strike you with her fists is called Striker. It just feels like they have no real identity, despite overflowing with nameable traits. But hey, I guess at least they didn't name them based on their looks, or we'd have Pubes McBroly as one of our stars here. Now, where this game truly strikes a chord is in its gameplay, like you'd want from like a fighting game, or a video game in general. I'm gonna elaborate, don't worry. A 4-button input fighter, its core attacks are divided into weak, medium, skill, and magic. These inputs create a general flow for the combat that is a little odd at first, but feels all too easy once you pick it up. I think that's what makes DNF stand out. It offers both standard and simple inputs, which were both named by a lying man, because both exist in the same space. The game tries to deliver on the all-around fun smash-a-thon for everyone and the check this ish out mastery modes for veterans. And the most surprising thing is that it actually works. While these systems play out in an easy-to-learn flow of weak, medium, skill, magic, which is the typical flow for most combat, hidden in there is a mechanic that allows for some truly crazy mix-ups and big bombast combos. You see, hidden within all of us are two types of damage. If you're asking the people who made DNF anyways. The normal red damage, which is effectively your health, and your white dragon damage, which can be used to extend combat by granting you back some of your magic points. fights. The white health serves a secondary purpose as well, letting you slowly recover some health. This opens up a careful game of Stratego where you don't want to deal too much of the wrong kind of damage because it offers your opponent an opportunity to come back. On the other hand, you now have to watch and carefully use your white damage to give yourself an advantage. In the world of fighting games, this is what we call a very fun game to play. Now, if you're worried about walking in here and looking like a scrub, DNF has you covered. It features a wide variety of ways to get good. Naturally, you have the robust and always consistent online mode to go test your might in. Offline, there are a few options to sink some time into, mastering the tools at your disposal. Par for the course is the arcade mode, which consists of a few fights that begin on baby mode and end in sentient AI overlord cannot be defeated mode. Survival mode pits you in a more unique score-based situation, 15, 30, or 100 matches. You use the score you earn per match to acquire power-ups to extend your chances of, surviving, recover HP, make the hits extra oomphy, slap some armor on for defense, or even make the guard breaks go from pretty good punch to nuclear-powered robo-slam. I really like this mode. It taught me how to better manage my in-game resources. Of course, you can always go in on a free battle and make your friend Alex hate the man with the big sword that explodes. Lastly, there is a story mode. A forgettable 4-hour-long cutscene with Mommy Where's My Bottle level fights cut in that I did not want to experience the first time and have really not had any desire to revisit since. There is also a fairly robust training mode, though it does take some time to fully make helpful. Tutorial modes are good here, if not a little light on the full explanation of certain mechanics. Okay, while I love this game's experience as far as gameplay goes, I do feel it isn't quite the sleek slam dunk it originally kind of seemed. The visuals are great, don't get me wrong, but some of the animations seem a lot less polished compared to other Arc System fighters, namely Guilty Gear Strives. Oh, and the soundtrack? Oh my god. This soundtrack sounds like the most generic music ever. Maybe it's pulled from the original MMO or inspired by it, but it leaves no lasting impression. And again, following the Guilty Gear Strives soundtrack,
that is bullshit blazing, still my heart is blazing.
I mean, yeah, come on, you can't beat that. You gotta at least match it, but you can't beat that, right? They really needed to go above and beyond. Seeing a 2.5D fighter adapted from a 2005 MMO I've never heard of get this much love and craft put into it is kind of awesome. Gameplay is tricky, but a fantastically accessible treat, allowing for more audiences to get involved in the genre. However, its style may be banging and electric, DNF hits all the familiar and homogeneous tropes of anime fighters past, and despite all the character it brings in the snappy and entertaining intros, frenetic supers, and absolutely flowing combat, the game misses the mark on bringing any real long-lasting characters to life here. I just can't bring myself to care about the man who does the grapples and is also named Grappler. All that said, this game is a fantastic time. Not to mention a great jumping in point for anyone hoping to hop into fighting games. I give DNF Duel a solid 8. Hopefully this one finds a group of passionate players so I can keep playing for a long, long time. Now they should adapt the Lord of the Rings into a 2.5D anime fighter. That's practically like printing money right there. For all the latest news, reviews, and previews, subscribe to Hardwired.